Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Bareface John. And this time we're gonna talk about primers. And he has some primers in his collection and it's a bit overwhelming. It's a bit crazy. He's a holder for primers. So let's start with primers. Let's talk about primers. I like hydrating primers over smoothing primers over a lot of products because I don't really have pores or texture skin, and most of the time foundations does the job for me. And what I want from a primer is that it will give me hydration, that it can act as a moisturizer, and that it will help with like foundation to last on my skin so that it doesn't crack, so that it doesn't have like weird texture on my skin. And also I want the primer to make my foundation to last a bit longer on my skin because I have drier skin, so I don't really need a lot of like help from the foundation itself, but the longer the merrier. And so let's talk about my collection of primers, which I will pack away, which I will bring along with me. To start with the elf primer. I like this primer, but this one is in a tub, which on the go I don't want this kind of packaging because you have to like unwheel this, and then you have to make it tight again, and then you have to use your fingers to like use this. I know you have to clean your hands before you put anything on, but just in case you have to un- unscrew this and then screw it back on. I like this primer for what it is, and it's a really good product, and it does help with longevity. It doesn't dry my skin. You can use this like very lightweight moisturizer, but this isn't moisturizing enough, and I don't like that you have to dig your fingers in to pick up the products. I like it when I'm like in a studio or in like a house in where I'm like stable, then I can use this. But if I want to take this into travel, I prefer something with a pump or like a squeezy tube. And this one is nice, but I won't pack this with me. The second one is the Too Faced Hangover Rx primer, which I love this primer, but I have trouble with this primer when I'm using retinol. You shouldn't use this with retinol because I this somehow makes my eyes swollen a lot of times when I pair this with retinol. Don't know why, because I think there's an ingredient in it that helps with like absorption on the skin. So don't use this with retinol on your face. And you can use this like a moisturizer. You can use this as a primer for foundation. I really like this primer, and I would pack this with me. This takes the second place in my chart where I would pick this up. So I will pick this, but there's something that I would pick over this one. The next one that we will talk about is the elf primer, which I have been using a lot. Very hydrating, very greasy. It has dimethicone, it has some grapeseed oil, it has a lot of good ingredients in this one. And I would use this as a moisturizer, not as a primer, unless I'm having a really dry season where I need a lot of hydration. I will use this one, but other than that, I won't use this as a primer. As I will use this as some moisturizer. I like this because this does blur the skin because of the dimethicone that it has in the tube, and it has a lot of good ingredients in this, but I would not bring this with me because I don't really use this as a primer. I don't pick this as a primer. Next thing, another dimethicone smoothing primer. This is the Too Faced Peach, a cooling matte skin perfecting primer, which I do like this. This does blur the skin. This does help control the oil, pairing with the right foundation. But this is not a moisturizer primer. This is a blurring primer. So I would not bring this with me. The next one is the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Face Primer. Really brightening, kind of like a primer. Does not control oil. This is really thick. Like you can see, it does give you a lot of glow. But I want a primer that does hydration, priming, oil controlling, all in one. I know I'm a little bit greedy, but this one doesn't control oil. It does give you a lot of shine. Smells great, but not something that I will bring in with me, because even though it does slightly, it doesn't smooth the skin. It just gives it some tag, some glow. Would not recommend this one. The next one is my current favorite primer. It's a coconut based primer again, not coconut oil but coconut water based. I love this primer. Smells great, and it's not fragrance, not synthetic fragrance. It's not like fragrance that harms the skin. These are just natural ingredients that has a smell, which gives. This has minerals in there to give your skin a natural glow. Yes, I know I'm using this on top of the banana primer, but this one does slightly smooth the skin, and it does blur the skin a bit, and it has some shine to the skin, and it's like a moisturizer as well, which is really great, and a lot of antioxidant. Usually I will wear this under sunscreen, and then I put another primer on top of the sunscreen, and then I put on foundation, which is quite a lot of steps, but this one does prime. It's a good primer for sunscreen and foundation, and it does leave some tag, but it hydrates the skin. It does control a bit of oil, and then it smells good, and it's good for the skin. It's not harming to the skin, and it really helps with the foundation staying put. So I would recommend this one, and I would put this one on my bag because of that. So this one would be in my first place. The next primer would be the Pretty Fresh Hydrating Hyaluronic Primer. This one has coconut oil, and it has fragrance. It's a orangey kind of a primer, and then it's not oily at all. I can tell you this is not oily, but it smells like bath products. Someone like say it's like this primer. No, this one doesn't leave a grease, or like it doesn't have like a tag on your skin. It sinks right into the skin. And this one leaves like a film, some oily film here, which it doesn't smell good. It lingers, but because it's a moisturizing primer and it does have coconut oil, so I would put this in the third place. I will use this one. if I'm super dry. And this one will come in third place. And if I only have this one, I will use it on my full face. Maybe I will get a pimple or two. Don't know. Haven't tried this for a long period of time. Like, not that I don't use this one. I don't actively use this one, but I haven't used it a long period of time to see does it develop acne. But I will use this on my neck if I have like one or two primers. This one will be on the third place in my list of primer that I would put it into my bag. So the primers that I'm left with are not moisturizing primers. They are correcting primer. This one is a illuminating correcting primer, which obviously I won't put this into my bag. And this one is a glow primer. It has shimmer in it. Definitely these. This one is does give you a glow. This one as well. Would recommend this one if you need something that helps to correct the skin or helps with like glow to the skin. But other than that, I would not put into my carrier bag with these two. This one maybe it's a really small one, but no. And the last one is a blurring primer that I love, that is very useful. It's not a moisturizer, but this one I would put it into my bag even though it's not a moisturizer. This one has sunscreen in it. It has zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, I think. So I would put this one on if I'm going to somewhere that has a lot of sun. And you shouldn't wear this alone. You have to wear like something. I would wear this on top of a sunscreen and then put another foundation that has some sunscreen on to boost like the sun protection. This one I will put this in my bag. This one will be in the fourth place. And if you are like at nighttime, I won't use this. I don't want flashback, but this one is a really good one if you like travel to somewhere that has a lot of sun. This one you can like put this on top to boost the sunscreen. This one does blur the skin, helps with longevity with the skin, does not make you oily. Very nice primer. So I feel like I should bring this. I might switch a place or two here. I would put this in my bag and not this one, because this has coconut oil, and if I'm traveling around the world, I don't want something that potentially could make my skin break out. I will pick this one over this one. So this one will go into the no pile, and this one will go to the yes pile, and this will come in fourth place. So to recap everything, I will bring these four to my travel bag. And the placement would be, the First Aid Beauty would be the first one. This will be a close second from Too Faced. And then these two will be running for their bank. This one, I might put this one in and I might put this one in, depending on the weather, depending on like the occasion and where I'm going. So this is my video. I know most of them are high-end products because truth to be told, you only need one primer on the go, and if you need something that's inexpensive, you can just go to the drugstore and buy like a Hydro Boost kind of like moisture a gel cream or hydro cream or water cream. And those are really great to prime the skin with. And I talk about those products because those does help with the skin. It does moisturizer, it does primer, it does something. And we shall talk later. So subscribe, like, comment down below, and click the bell button to get every notification that whenever I post any video and more to see. Bye.